Loading. There. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Wrestlebacks, rewatchable must-see matches, the monthly show, part of the Card Subject to Change family of shows, proudly sponsored by Lopez Pizza. I am one of your hosts, the Wizard CZ. Joining me, as always, is my partner in crime, never wrong, Nick Bull. Nick, how you feeling today?
Peace and love, as Ringo Starr says. I hope y'all are doing well. Kind of got kicked in the butt by winter here with this snowfall, but it's going to be like 75 in 3 days. I mean, it's going to be like upper 40s tomorrow. I mean,
yeah,
it's coming. Every day's closer. We're also in WrestleMania season, so in my spare time, I'm trying to just watch random WrestleManias to get in the mood, since I'm not really in the mood yet for the WrestleMania run, and then just doing prep, not only for Card Subject to Change, but also here for Wrestlebacks. But doing well, man.
That's good. That's good. And of course, Wrestlebacks, the trios champions of any network, would not be complete without our third man in the booth, Mr. Joe the Show Winkle. Joe, how you feeling today, my friend?
Back in your life. Listen, this weather is back in our life. It's changing more than the Big Show changed if he was a heel or a face, every time.
Yeah,
so
it can't decide. It can't decide. The weather is like a Big Show gimmick in the 90s. They couldn't decide what they wanted him to do. Yeah, good call.
Right.
Good call.
So it was like, we're going to be 70. It's good. It's going to go from like 70 to it was in the single digits this morning to like 70 again in an 8-day span. So gotta love it. God bless America. But I'm doing okay. I'm excited to talk about this. I know this is one we've had kind of lined up for a bit. And this is it's crazy that we've done 2 full circles around the world now regarding this, and this was Nick's second shot, and he is delved back into the ROH bucket, and I'm geeked. I'm excited.
Oh yeah, I am too. And Nick, since this is your pick, I'm going to let you introduce what we're talking about.
Oh, well, if you haven't found out by now, we are talking about the Briscoes FTR Trilogy that took place in Ring of Honor. It started actually in 2021 and then went the whole year of 2022. We'll talk about that as we delve into it here in a little bit. 3 amazing matches. If you are into star ratings and Uncle Dave, he gave all 3 of these matches 5 stars. I'm glad that we're doing this as an overview of the 3, because I don't know if I could pick one. It's like, I got 3 kids. I can't pick a favorite. And there's 3 matches here, so I can't pick a favorite. But there's parts I love about each one of them. So I'm glad we're able to break into the realm of tag team wrestling, which I'm a big fan of, as you know, here on Wrestlebacks. And what I think is the best trilogy that I've seen of tag teams. And I think that, they're the bar now, and I don't know if we'll ever see it broken with the way that tag team wrestling's talked about or treated today. So we'll get more into that later, I'm sure. But strap in. This one's a wild ride, man. And I can't wait to see how this starts with the show and then how we progress into this.
Yeah, this is certainly, I think it's best, as Nick said, to talk about all 3 of these together instead of just one match picked out, because I do think all of them are pretty similar in quality. I think there is, when you watch them all back to back to back, there you can kind of have one. At least I was able to go through one and be like, this one I enjoyed the more. They don't set the bar; they are the bar, fella. So, or wait a minute. I think personally, there's one that I like more than the other, and then the other. For me, though, I mean, I'm sure it's different with everybody, but all three of these matches have their own stylistic flavor. All three of these matches have a different level of intensity, and it's what makes this unique. It's hard to, especially nowadays, at least with tag team wrestling, it's hard to find something that's that stands out from everything else. Uh, it's truly special. It's truly uh, it may be the last of its kind. And I think tag team wrestling is still really good when it gets really good. But I don't know if you'll ever see what these three men did. And the craziest part about it, CZ, is it's not even on like weekly television. This feud just kind of happened, and it was moderately built through social media and fan anticipation.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's one of the things that make it really unique is that it wasn't a weekly TV build. You know, you're not seeing these guys week in and week out cutting promos and this and that on your weekly television sets.
And maybe, Nick, that's what makes it last so, like, maybe that's what makes it so, like, fond, or makes us so fond of it, I guess. I don't know if they did this every week for a year, like they basically, this feud pretty much lasts a year. The FTR attacks the Briscoes at Final Battle 2021. The double dog collar matches at Final Battle 2022. If these teams are on TV doing angles every week for a year, maybe this doesn't age as well as it does. Maybe this doesn't gracefully kind of happen the way as it does. And the craziest part is, at least from FTR's side, who is on television every week, their characters evolve in the calendar year of 2022. They start out as dastardly, horrible human being heels. By the time the second match happens, they're baby faces. They're one of the most over white meat babyface things in AEW, and by the time it comes around for ROH, they're both baby faces. And I don't think you never really get a face heel dynamic between these two in the matches outside of a little bit in the first match. But regardless, Nick, I think those are some of the things that make this so unique.
Absolutely. It's organic. It's
Yes.
so organic because for reasons we'll get to later, it couldn't be on mainstream TV. And even though that FTR was on TV, every week or whatever, being with AEW, fans knew who the Briscoes were. I also think this trilogy is extra special because these are the only 3 times these guys ever wrestled.
Mm-hmm.
There was no singles interaction. There was no other tag matches between these guys. These guys legitimately wrestled 3 times together.
Yeah.
And put on 3 bangers. So Lord knows, hey, maybe if we had 5 more matches out of it, it'd be great. But would the quality go down? I mean, sometimes short. Sometimes the best songs are the shorter ones. They're not the long ones. You want them to be longer, but they're not. I think we could have gotten a lot more out of these guys mileage-wise on TV, and probably some more, a blow-off of some sort, probably a ladder match at some point between the two. But for where it was in space and time and the availability of the Briscoes not being on major television, man, I thought they knocked it out of the park. Like it felt so organic. I'll never forget like the excitement level I had on that Friday in April of 2022. I was more looking forward to Supercard of Honor than I was, WrestleMania. And it turned out to be a really cool weekend regardless. And that night was awesome. I remember watching that first match and be like, I know a 5-star match when I see it. That was it. Like, that was amazing. Like the build, the anticipation, the fans being a part of it. I love like the first one's in a smaller venue, obviously, right?
Uh-huh.
And then the first thing I noticed from like match 1 to match 2 is the venue is big. It's a good sized arena now. And then you got that same good sized arena for the third one. So I think the magic behind it is, okay, obviously Jay Briscoe's no longer with us. He's passed, and this was kind of like the last major feud that he probably was in.
He passed away not much longer after the final match.
Not much longer. I mean, he probably did some indie stuff, but like he wasn't predominantly featured in another feud. This can't be replicated. You got the by the book, technical, double team, tag team champs of FTR, and then you've got them boys, the brawlers. It's the contrasting styles. And you throw those four together, they're all veterans. They all know what they're doing. And it's just, it took us on. I know when I watched this and you guys watched this, reviewed it off YouTube, like Ring of Honor's got all three of these matches up in one nice clip, guys, if you guys want to go back and watch. And like, it just took me back. And I miss tag team wrestling like this. I miss Jay Briscoe. I wish tag team wrestling, I wish I could say it's grown from this, but I think it's gone down on the top levels, in my opinion. But regardless, we got this. We got these three matches. It's magic. I love all three of them.
You know, I love that you said that if Jay were still with us, we could have a couple more matches out of this. And you mentioned a ladder match. It wouldn't just be a ladder match. Nick.
Ladder war. Right.
It would definitely be a ladder war.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a staple right there. These three let's kind of go through this feud. If this is your first time watching Wrestlebacks, what we do is we kind of break down the matches, and this obviously will be a little bit different because this one we've done. I mean, I guess we've done two matches before because we did the entire JBL Eddie Guerrero feud. Yeah, now three. Who knows? The next one we're gonna do maybe by the next time for Nick's choice, we're gonna do every John Cena and Randy Orton match. You're gonna be here for like 4 hours, and the 37th of them on Raw in 2012.
Buckle up, boys.
Wasn't there a Raw where Cena and Orton took on the whole roster?
Yes.
That'd be the first one. That's the first one.
Yeah. So this, as we stated, the December of 2021 was when the attack happened, when FTR. So in late, or I guess this would have been what? In late 2021 is when Tony Khan bought ROH. And that kind of allowed things like this to escalate, these things to start to be able to happen. Supercard of Honor, I believe, was the first real show that they did under the AEW ROH like banner together. Because I remember it was right around Revolution, or so maybe not late 21, early 2022 is when ROH got bought by AEW.
Yes,
Yeah, because it was right around Revolution that year. So Supercard of Honor was in April. Then in July, it was Death Before Dishonor, which is the 2 out of 3 falls match. And then the last match was at Final Battle, which was the double dog collar match. There's no real interaction, as we said, on TV. Other than from all the research I did and from my knowledge, because this is when I really was dealt, like this was when AEW was at its hottest. It's been, I mean, from 2021 through 2022 was when it was at its best. I mean, it's doing well right now, I think, television wise, but it was nothing quite like this. The only time I can remember these two actually having an on-TV weekly segment moment was when the Briscoes challenged them to the double dog collar match. There might have been another thing, but most of their stuff was kind of filmed and put on socials, stuff like that. But the Briscoes went on AEW TV and challenged them to the double dog collar match. That was really the only time that they
didn't they walk out at the end of the show?
Yeah.
Stand on the stage and hold up the double dog collars?
I believe so, yes.
Yep, I remember that.
Supercard of Honor match happened, I believe, in the middle of the card. And you mentioned that was kind of at a smaller venue. But then...
Do you know what the main event of that card was?
I don't know. I don't. What was it? I was trying to remember.
I'll let you guys guess, because you're right. To me, this was the main event of the show. Because this is what got me to buy the pay-per-view. But It was not the main event. They had a title unification, if you want to, if you can remember that.
So ROH title, I'm assuming, something like that?
Yep. This is 2022, correct?
Yeah, I remember. CZ, do you want to guess first?
Not really.
Because I have an idea. Because I have an
Did they
idea.
unify the ROH and the ROH TV title? Was that still around at this point?
It was the winner takes all match to determine the undisputed ROH world champion.
Okay.
Because from what I remember, Jonathan Gresham was ROH champion in the summer, and he lost it to Claudio. So I'm assuming he's in this match, and he wins it. Who it's against, though, I have zero idea. It's not against. It's not against. Yeah, CZ, do you have a guess? Because I have one, but I know I'm wrong.
I don't.
Bandito.
Okay, it was Bandito. I was going to guess Roosh, but Bandito would have been maybe my next guess.
So FTR Briscoes went 5th out of 8.
Excuse me. And then at the next two shows, because I remember one of the craziest things, because I bought Death Before Dishonor because I wanted to see the 2 out of 3 falls match.
So did I, dude. I remember it was so hot outside.
It was hot as hell. It was
middle
of July, late July.
Here's what happened. I went to Waterloo for the first time in 2022. And I drove up there and then came back. And it was so hot outside. I told my buddy, I was like, I'm not watching it. I'm not getting it. I might get it, but I'm going to be, in my room watching it. I remember watching this in the polar depths of my basement with the air blasting. It was so hot outside, but you remember how hot it was. And I loved the Death Before Dishonor show. I really do. It's one of my, I love that card a lot. I love that show a lot.
I remember the Daniel Garcia Wheeler Yuta match for the Pure title on there.
Yeah.
Back when Daniel, shout out to Daniel. Back when I thought Daniel Garcia was going to be the Pure and the ROH champion like Daniel Bryan was, or Bryan Danielson was, excuse me.
Castagnoli with William Regal defeated Jonathan Gresham with Prince Nana
in the first match of the show.
Yeah,
because Gresham didn't and Gresham hated everything apparently backstage. It was funny.
There's a Roosh Dragon Lee match on there that's a banger, and there's also Samoa Joe, Jay Lethal.
Yep,
awesome. And then the main event was the 2 out of 3 falls match.
Yep. And then the main event of a Final Battle was the double dog collar match, if I'm not mistaken. That is correct, right? That was the main event of Final Battle.
That was an afternoon show. You remember that, CZ?
I was at your place watching it, I believe.
We watched it, then we went over to an SCW show.
Yeah.
Saturday night. It was not the main.
Okay.
That was Claudio and Jericho.
Okay. Oh, shock. Jericho couldn't give the spotlight up.
It went
There's
on.
where your Jericho comes in, Striker.
Yep. There we go. So, yeah, this feud obviously was the biggest thing that ROH really did in its comeback under the AEW banner. They really haven't done anything. Now, listen, ROH is obviously way different than it was before Tony bought it. It has basically become kind of a developmental, in a way, outside of their championships, because you at least have the champions are still pretty high level and they do some stuff, and they have integrated it more on AEW TV as of late, over the last couple of years and whatnot. But outside of that, you have developmental stuff more or less there, which is fine to me at least. But in regards to this, obviously, this was a huge deal. And Nick, I know I guess both of you guys we're big ROH. I mean, considering ROH was huge when I first got into wrestling, so I was just not I was just not hip enough to understand or even know what ROH was until CM Punk dropped the pipe bombs talking about Ring of Honor and Colt Cabana.
Sure.
You know, so did it mean something that ROH had this big moment to you guys when Tony bought it, and then these guys are having these big feuds on the ROH stage as opposed to like it being if it wasn't AEW? Like, did that make any difference to you guys at all? I know we talked about it not being every week, but you know what I mean?
I think that made a world of difference because when you look back at it now and you look where ROH is right now, you kind of wish they had continued with things like this, with bigger feuds and bigger stories like this that you aren't seeing in Ring of Honor right now. If you can even see Ring of Honor because it's currently behind a paywall on Honor Club. I'm not even going to go there.
Yeah, that in itself is very weird.
To me, I was so happy that it was happening. I didn't care where it was. And I obviously didn't care when I coughed up the money for it. Like, I want to think that like this feud with FTR and the Briscoes is like the last dying breath of what Ring of Honor stood for and what it used to be. Was seeing these matches that you thought you'd never see. Tony had control of ROH at the time when this was going on, but since this has happened, it hasn't even touched, the scope of interest. It's just not the same. And
you've had small moments. You've had small pockets of moments.
You've had small pockets of moments, but this match meant everything because you have Jay Briscoe, who's an A1 day one in Ring of Honor.
Mm-hmm.
He was on the first show.
Mm-hmm.
And, these guys are Ring of Honor. And then you have this new old school tag team that says they're the greatest ever, and they're doing it in your backyard. And, they get over twice, before the third match type of deal. And it was awesome, man. It was great. Like 2022 is going to be hard to replicate for me. When you had a feud like this, the scarcity of the matches of the three, and how excellent all three were.
And for like you talk about the Briscoes, obviously they're a decorated tag team, obviously. 13-time ROH tag team champion, but Jay was at least a one-time ROH champion.
2-time.
He was okay. He was one of the few 2-time ROH champs. Had an amazing feud with Adam Cole over the belt. So like Jay was you could argue, and even obviously maybe I'm the wrong person to tout this message, but I'm sure you guys would say, because you guys would have more info on him as a singles wrestler than me. You could say that Jay Briscoe is one of the most underrated, like diverse wrestlers that we have had. God rest his soul, obviously. But like the ability to be one of the greatest tag team wrestlers ever and also be a pretty damn good singles wrestler to where one of the most, you could say about it now, but at the time he did it, at least the ROH World Championship was one of the more prestigious, hardest championships to win once, let alone twice. And he did that. I feel like that's a pretty damn good resume for someone like him.
Absolutely. I was just chuckling because CZ and I did a show with a friend of ours who's a mutual Ring of Honor fan, and we did Ring of Honor Mount Rushmore one night. And I have Jay Briscoe. Jay Briscoe was my last person I named because I kind of wanted it to be spread. He's amazing. Each tag team kind of has the guy who sticks out more than the other guy. And that's not saying anything about Mark Briscoe, but Jay Briscoe just kind of had it to me. He always had the look, the in-ring, and loved him as a singles champion in Ring of Honor, and of course as a tag champ. I mean, they had the great matches with FTR, but some great matches with Steen and Generico that were amazing. And they had a great feud. So these guys are legends. They're the greatest tag team in Ring of Honor history. I know it isn't probably saying much for the last 4 years, but I'm telling you what, from 05 to after these FTR Briscoes trilogy, They're the greatest tag team in Ring of Honor history, and it's not even close.
Uh-huh.
If you're just tuning in, this is Wrestlebacks, part
It
of the
is?
Card Subject to Change family of shows, proudly sponsored by Lopez Pizza. We are talking about the Briscoes and FTR Trilogy from 2001 to 2000 or 2021 to 2022 in Ring of Honor, and we've just, I don't think we can say enough how great this trilogy was. I mean, it kind of gives me a feel, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you guys think I'm wrong on this, but it kind of gives me a feel of the old school WWE days or WCW days when there wasn't a show every week and you had to build that feud over a couple of months and a couple of pay-per-views. You didn't have that weekly show where you were just feeding into it to the point where you, quite frankly, could have gotten sick of it.
Well, yeah, I know what you mean. I think both these teams went above and beyond the social media route because they didn't have the primetime television exposure. And I think the same could be said. Like, I know before FTR and the Young Bucks squared off and met up, they were kind of going after on social media. So here you see social media used for good, that it's establishing a feud or a future feud, or, hey, it's your primary source of advertisement or exposure, daddy, as Dusty would say, is your social media account for this FTR Briscoes thing. It was largely driven by social media and verbal jabs back and forth between the two camps. So I think that has a lot to do with kind of carrying the steam of this feud when it wasn't on television.
Right.
Yeah, this required the fans to be a little smart and to understand stuff and to do their homework. And luckily enough, these types of fans that you're dealing with that were invested in this match were just that. It wasn't the lazy casuals who didn't pay attention much. No, these people were invested. They understood what they were getting. They understood what they were looking at, and they understood the importance of it. They understood like what to be excited for, what to not be excited for. That it takes two to tango sometimes in those aspects. Wrestling fans are smarter than you think, people. Which obviously we all know that. We're the wrestling fans. You're the wrestling fans watching this. We're smart. We have brains.
Hence the name. Duh. It's not a gimmick. It's a lifestyle, folks.
Exactly.
And that's just a nod to the type of fans that follow Ring of Honor, or at least before Tony Khan took it over. That hotbed of time from when Ring of Honor started until arguably this match with FTR and the Briscoes. Those fans knew what they were getting into, and they didn't need to be force fed anything. They didn't need that because you could just announce this match and say, well, this is going to happen in 2024. Let's say they announce it in 2021. It's not going to happen for 3 years. Fans would still be excited for it, and they would just be gnawing at the bit to watch that match. Even if there wasn't a build, just because of the strength of these two teams.
Yeah, and it's hard to get something that is wanted as much as that now.
Right.
And
because you look back, I got to look back. We talked about Joe and Kobashi a few months ago.
Mm-hmm.
That's very similar. There wasn't a lot of build for that, but the fans knew what they were getting into, and they wanted that match. These guys have a very similar feel.
Yeah,
because of the way that ROH is.
Yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but I guess you could say like this being sort of a bygone type situation, just similar to the Joe Kobashi thing. It's almost like access in certain wrestling promotions. It's easier to get now outside of like a WWE AEW crossover that nobody has had.
Right.
Like I'm sure there's people like that want to see some AEW guy versus some WWE guy that has just never been able to cross paths. But outside of that, it's pretty easy for most of these guys to be able to go dip their toes around to get these matches that we want. Back then, back then I feel it was much harder. So does that make sense? Like you got more you yearned more for certain things that it was like, wow, we are never going to get this. And then it's like, wait, there's this possibility. Oh my God, it's here. I can't wait for it to happen. And then it happens. Now it's like, well, the accessibility for so many different things, it's way easier. You know what I mean, Nick?
Yeah, absolutely. And that maybe adds, like we said earlier, to the lore of this. Like, you kind of got to romanticize a little bit about this. Like, you had to look for it. It wasn't readily available, and it wasn't on mainstream television, so it couldn't be promoted properly. And they only wrestled 3 times, so there's like a romanticism to it. There's the rarity of it, and the sad part, the finality of it is like they'll never be able to do it again, obviously. So I think you wrap all that up in a little bow, and that's what you get here. Like, I don't know if it can be done again. I'm sure it could be done again because social media is even bigger than it was in 2022. But can it be done again with the fans really caring about both sides and really caring what happens in the match and wanting to see? That's hard to say, man. It's hard to say. It's hard to replicate.
I think it depends on who you put in there and where they stand in the rankings of fans, honestly. I can't think of 2 individuals or 2 teams that I would go out of my way to see that haven't happened off the top of my head right now.
Right.
It really depends on the situation.
Well, in the era we live in now of oversaturation and seeing every possible matchup that we can possibly ever see, with all the television they do and events, pay-per-views, PLEs, all that, we won't get this again. We just won't get this again.
Right.
Won't happen. It won't happen.
Nothing quite like this. No. Yeah, because unless there was like, I mean, God, yeah, I can't even think of something. There really isn't anything that is like this. All right, let's kind of dive in before we get into categories again. If this is your first time watching Wrestlebacks, we appreciate it. This is our 6th edition of it. And what we do, we kind of, like we said, we do this brief, like kind of a bigger discussion of the stuff involved. And then we kind of get into some different minute details and we have some fun. We poke some prod, some stuff more serious and fun than others.
Would there be anything? Hey, Stryker, we can't say that now. We can't spoil that off the top.
Yeah, we have some stuff. Yeah, he's getting into the categories. Yeah, exactly.
Hang tight. We'll get you there. We'll get there, buddy.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, I agree, Stryker. That's a great question.
We have a lot of serious conversations once we get to this part of the show. We also have some very funny ones, like talking about how racist JBL was, or talking about Solo Sikoa stealing something from a child. So many funny things that can happen.
Who can forget the Otunga's kid?
Oh yeah, we're all taking Otungas. Just living. I got it tattooed on my. No, I'm just kidding. Just Otunga. I did an Otunga today. Here on my chest. All right, so we mentioned the 3 matches when they were. The commentators for these matches was ROH Lovelies, Ian Riccaboni, and Caprice Coleman. Hot diggity dog. What a time. Just makes you feel something listening to these 2 gentlemen talk about the wrestling.
They are perfect. They are perfect. You can't change this. I'm glad Ian Riccaboni is getting some run now on Dynamite. Largely overdue. That guy should be up there. He should be on a weekly wrestling television show, being the play-by-play guy. He's that good. The chemistry between these 2, the fact that they are fans. They're not just announcers in these matches. They're fans, and you can tell they're totally digging everything. They know what they're calling. They know how special it is. And these guys don't go over the top. They are real emotions and outbursts that humans would have. And it's excitement. I love listening. This might have been my favorite thing besides watching the matches, is just listening to these guys work and call these matches, because they paint a great picture of both teams, what's at stake, everything. I mean, they're great. I don't think they get enough credit.
Does he still do play-by-play on Collision or no?
I don't know if he's been on Dynamite the last few weeks.
I have noticed that. He did the Willow Nightingale rap the other day on Dynamite, and it got me hyped. I was like, yeah, we're out here.
Riccaboni, he's on. I like him, man. He's a good dude.
Riccaboni was the play-by-play guy for one of my favorite matches ever, which was on Collision, early day Collision. 2 out of 3 falls, AEW World Tag Team Title match, FTR versus Bullet Club Gold. Mint.
58 minutes.
Yes.
Of awesomeness.
That's some tasty.
Best television tag team match I've seen in years.
Yeah, pretty much. That you could. Yes, I definitely agree with that. So just to kind of briefly go through these matches. Again, the thing that makes these so unique is all 3 of these matches have different variety, but there's stuff that ties into them. There's like a violence aspect of each that is involved. Like there's an aggressiveness, but each one has its own different flair, right? So the first match, it starts off as kind of a traditional tag team match with both teams at certain points trying to like one up each other. Like they're trying to out dick swing the other. Like, hey, we're really good at this. Hey, we're really good at this. The crowd, obviously, it's in the smaller arena, so the crowd, oddly enough, is kind of maybe the most vocal of the 3 because they're just going so crazy.
2,000 announced attendance.
And this was down in Texas, right?
This was in Garland, Texas, at the Curtis Colwell Center.
So this would have been, the weekend of WrestleMania 38? Shout out to Cody Rhodes returning to the
April 1st, 2022. This would have been the Friday evening.
Yeah. And then
of
the next
WrestleMania
day,
weekend.
And then the next day, Cody Raheem returned to the mainland. Shout out to that guy. That's the only thing that was worthy. I guess Johnny Knoxville, Sami Zayn was really good on that WrestleMania card. Oh, and Stone Cold and what's his face?
Right.
Kevin Owens. Yeah, I guess I'm giving WrestleMania 38 some unwanted demise. The main event was terrible. I do remember that. So the first match had some back and forth. It really heated up at the end. The intensity was there. FTR wins. The second match, 2 out of 3 falls, which is, I mean, you guys can say it better than I can, but was like the Briscoes staple. And more times than not, they would win 2-0, right? Like that was one of their big gimmicks when they did these matches.
Yeah, they did the 2 out of 3 thing for a few years. And their thing was like they would try to beat you in 2, and that they got on a roll. I think they did it like 4 or 5 times in a row. But yeah, the 2 out of 3 thing, I think was the perfect step going from the traditional wrestling match of FTR, kind of showcasing them. Now we're going to do the Briscoes match, which is 2 out of 3. Could FTR, they've been in 2 out of 3 falls matches before, but now with the Briscoes, this is the Briscoes specialty. So yeah, I liked the natural evolution of the trilogy as it, went on.
It was kind of like, to make a weird comparison, kind of like a symphony where it just is that slow build until that big crescendo with these 3 matches, and then the end is just perfect.
Yes, in a weird, violent, very scary way.
Because yes,
in the second match, it's as we mentioned, the 2 out of 3 falls match. The Briscoes win the first fall. The second fall is very long and lengthy. The FTR wins it. Then there's kind of a desperation that heats up again for the third. FTR ends up winning that one with a nasty middle rope fall away pile driver from Dax onto Jay Briscoe. And
the way that it ended, the fact that Dax could only barely turn over.
Yep.
And covered him with his feet.
Yeah, his
they
shins
were both
basically
dead to rights.
Yeah,
I jumped out of my seat when that originally happened. I'm like, oh my God, I never thought I'd see that move. A pile driver from, the second rope. In the way he rolled him over and pinned him with his feet was brilliant. I I couldn't pick a favorite, man, but the 2 out of 3 falls match, it's lengthy, but man, it's like 43 minutes, but it's pretty damn good.
It's almost 50. It's closer to 50, I believe. Maybe I'm wrong. But
the first interaction is 27-25.
Mm-hmm.
The first match between the two. The Death Before Dishonor, 2 out of 3. 43-25.
Okay, yeah, 43. My apologies. The middle part of that match is what it doesn't drag, but it's definitely a lot of fat.
Yeah.
And then we get to the third match, and boy, oh boy, this was gruesome. Let's just say gruesome in all the great ways. Double dog collar at Final Battle. It is barbaric. Like, it is legitimately barbaric. A referee gets his head caved in near the end of the match.
Poor Posey. Yeah,
my God. Blood everywhere. Just as brutal as you can imagine. And FTR, or the Briscoes win. You get the crazy visual at the end with Jay choking out Dax with the chain. And Mark is like laying on the ground on the outside, like holding the chain while Cash is like trying to swim in place to break it up, but he can't get it. So those are the three matches. Let's move into most rewatchable segment, our first category. Through the matches here, I thought the first one had some of my favorite stuff, especially once the match picked up. I have like the match spilling outside. Jay does a little, not a hot tag, but a mini moment where he comes in, gets a big boot, does a planche over the top, not disqualified because he went over the top with a little assistance, but still not disqualified.
It's all right.
They do it then leads to FTR doing a double slingshot with him under a table, which was incredibly unique. And also, oh my God, it led then to, at the end, Mark's hot tag. This is the first match still, which was incredible. That's a segment on its own that has Briscoe hit a double team that gets kicked out of. The FTR does the pop up off the top rope, power bomb into a splash, which is a cool move they got kicked out of.
Yep.
Briscoes hit the shatter machine, or the big rig, they called it then. And then FTR ends up hitting the shatter machine to win eventually. In the second match, I thought the pace of the beginning I thought the pace of the assertiveness of the Briscoes kind of like owning the beginning stages of the first match, and then the helter-skelter craziness at the end of it, of the third fall, like the first fall and the third fall. I thought those were really good. And then a lot of stuff you can pick through in the final match. What are some of the rewatchable segments that you guys have?
The table pulling when I believe it was Mark getting pulled off the corner onto the table
in the final match.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't it? He missed it. He went into like the chairs, right?
No, that's when Cash has him by the neck.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yes. I'm thinking of a different part.
Yeah. Chairs.
Yeah.
Just the sheer violence of that alone.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Like, I know Jay and Dax kind of stole the spotlight with with the ending of the match, them being in there. But like Mark and Cash just beat the shit out of each other. Like, I know Jay and Dax were bleeding all over each other, but like, I don't know how Cash and Mark were able to walk out of there. I'd had a broken hip. If I landed on those chairs, I wouldn't be getting up ever again.
Bro, I got hurt watching that. I was like, oh my God.
These guys are beating the shit out of each other.
Yes.
The wildest part, real quick, CZ, is that the second half of the dog collar match is basically like Jay and Dax in the ring, while Cash and Mark like literally kill each other outside of the ring. That's like the entire second half of the dog collar match.
Yeah, for sure it is.
For me, other than
they played a big part there with the ending, but like I love how they killed each other out there.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, other than the pile driver off the middle rope, everything to me stands out in the Nick, you have trouble picking a favorite. Hands down, the dog collar match is mine in this trilogy. I can't speak
The
highly of
dog
it
collar
enough.
match is?
Yes. The
Okay.
froggy bow with the chain wrapped around the elbow. Oh my god. So much brutality and so much to talk about in that match. That it's like the entire match is a highlight reel.
Yeah. And if you like blood, there's a lot of it. Like the blood is pooling on the canvas.
So much.
Yeah.
So much. There's a time
again,
when Dax and Jay are in the corner and they don't do the move off the rope at the time and they come back, but you could see the pool of blood that they had and just dripped off both of them at the bottom underneath. It was just like, it's nuts, man. I mean, the double dog collar one, you know, with how it ended, the Briscoes winning at all costs. I mean, thank God it wasn't a Texas death match. I probably wouldn't have watched it if it was, but thank God. But the double dog collar match, you can't get any more brutal, I don't think, on a tag team. They're not going to do scaffolding matches anymore. I mean, you could have put these two in a cage, but nobody wants to see these guys in a cage. Right. These guys work all over the place. So this double dog collar was like the most extreme and brutal they could get. And dude, they did. They absolutely did. I love the moment, obviously, after, but like the relief the Briscoes have on their face after winning, like I don't like the look on their faces, and the relief is like, they were probably thinking, I don't know how much more we can do to win, because they did everything. They did everything in that match. Jay Briscoe's right eye is like bleeding shut. It's gross.
Yes.
And the damn ref, holy shit, getting color on a ref. When is the last time you saw a ref busted open?
It wasn't even like a little bit, bro. He was gushing.
No, it was gushing.
When he goes into the corner and he's sitting there getting attended to, bro, and it's just like leaking out of his head. I'm like, oh God.
Yeah, shout out to referee Posey, who the commentary mentioned was a former wrestler turned referee. Shout out to him for taking that shot in that match. Oh my.
Yeah.
Taking that shot. That was Fisher Price's My First Blade job. My God. I mean,
my first blade job.
It was. That was bad, man. That was bad. I feel like I could do better. I feel like I really could. That was gnarly. Striker poses a good question here, and I agree. Is that the first ever tag team dog collar match ever?
I can't remember another one.
I can't either.
I mean, I'm sure there's been one done on the Indies. I'm sure maybe there was done in like Mid-South or Memphis. I'm sure something like it's been done, but on this level, I don't think so. Not that I know of.
It's crazy to think that it could work so well, because you would think, okay, in a tag team match, especially two teams who are so good at tag team fundamentals, basically being forced to do two separate singles matches in a tag team match, you would think it wouldn't work. But it's glorious. Is it my favorite of the three like yours? It's a toss-up between the first and the third one. I'd never seen the first one until we did this, and I adored it. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I had obviously seen the second one because I bought the pay-per-view live. I'd never seen I'd watched the double dog collar match before, not live, but I'd done it before. I'd never seeked out the first match until we did this exercise. And I was like, yeah, I'm in love with this. So between the first and the third, to me, it's close. But do you agree with me? Like, you would think that, back to it's a great question, because it's like, again, two teams that are so great at tag team fundamentals, the artistry of tag team wrestling, for them to literally have, again, two separate singles matches and a tag match, and it work.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Go ahead, Nick. Were you gonna say something?
I don't know if I can pick a favorite because I can pick bits and pieces of each one, and if I could mold them into one match, that would be my favorite. I don't know. I just remember the legitimate shock of the pile driver on Jay Briscoe to get the 3. I didn't think it was going to end like that. And when it did, that feeling of shock, I mean, I love them all. I love them all. If I had to pick, man, okay, we got to pick one, right?
Gun to the head. Which one?
You first.
I already told you mine. Number 3.
You said 3, right?
Yep.
Joe?
I would say 1 by inches. By millimeters, even.
If 2 was 10 minutes shorter, it'd be 2. But I'll say 2.
It is interesting to see, not that 2 is bad, but when you watch all 3 of these together, it definitely stands out, in my opinion, as the worst of the 3. And again, it's still amazing. We're talking about between like a 5-star match, a 6-star match, and like a 6.5-star match.
That's just how good they are. Like, and there you go. We got 3 different answers.
Yeah, exactly.
Three guys, like 3 different ones. You know,
it was the last comment Striker put here is talking about how each match has its own different story. Basically, yeah, that's what makes it so perfect. What age the best? I put tag team fundamentals. Like I said, like especially in the first match, you could see it's just the crispness, and in the second match as well, because there's a different styles of the desperation of like how the teams work together, how they attack and how they set up their moves, how they use their tag team prowess to dominate in certain stuff. I always love when they're talking about cutting off the ring and all that stuff, you know, like it's such good shit.
Yep.
What age the best? Ian Riccaboni in the first match saying pituitary gland. I don't know why, it just popped me. I was looking at my phone for some reason, and then all of a sudden I heard him say he got hit in the pituitary gland, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute. It's like a spit take. What age the best? Just as someone who didn't see nearly as many Briscoe tag team matches, just to see them do their thing, you know, like do their, as the kids say, to watch them do their dance, at whether it was all of their really tag team. It kind of bleeds into the tag team fundamentals aspect, where it's them doing their moves together, the way they orchestrate when they tag in and out, the hot tags for either guy. It was that was a real sight to see for me.
I like how Riccaboni talks about, I forget if it's the first or the second, how they have a made-up language between the two of them, Mark and Jay, and they can just grunt and they know what the other one wants.
Yep,
and
that was the first one. Yep,
that was the first one. Okay, I like that. Like, yeah, he's absolutely right. And I'll tell you what, like, you haven't seen a lot of Briscoe matches in the past, Joe, but to the fans that haven't, like you, like this snapshot of these 3 matches of the Briscoes is the Briscoes. Sans a ladder war. That this is who the Briscoes were, and I felt the final match probably showcased them the best. Like they would do whatever it took to win, and they showed us. They showed the national stage what they would do to win, and it was brutal, it was bloody, but that was the Briscoes. And I think, you know, for the younger fans or for the fans that weren't around when Ring of Honor was around and hot and heavy. I'm talking pre-Tony days when the Briscoes were running roughshod. I mean, go back and watch that stuff, man. They've always been that team. They've always been those guys. They've always been them boys.
Yeah, and I'll recommend, if you want to get another take of the Briscoes, the Steen and Generico ladder war is on YouTube. But I'm sure we're going to get to that match eventually.
Oh, I'm sure we will too. But
highly recommend that. If you want more Briscoes, I highly recommend that as the next step, next place you go.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm sure we're eventually going to get into some sort of Steen Erico stuff on here.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah. what aged the best? A couple other things that I had. I loved the frantic ness of the third fall in the first match. Just like once it got tied up, you could sense the desperation. You could sense each team like having a, oh shit, it's like this is the moment for the rest of my life type situation. And then I loved how, to me, what aged the best of the third one in full, just how unique it was. It is a truly unique match. Again, you probably like one of us should just Google it or something. How many tag team dog collar matches there's been? If there haven't been any others, then it's a short list. But regardless, I've never seen another one. So the uniqueness of it just ages so well. CZ, any other what aged the best?
Not really. You pretty much covered everything that I have.
Okay. Nick, do you have anything else to add, or what did you find on the Google machine?
I'm looking right now. How many tag team dog collar matches have there been?
Here we go. Where's the Pep Boys music? Or the Jeopardy music? Do. What is 247?
They don't have any.
Oh, how about that? Merry Christmas.
So I mean, there's been plenty of dog collar matches, but I don't think
there's been a triple dog collar match in ECW in '96.
There you go.
Oh wow.
The franchise and the Pitbulls versus Stevie Richards and the Eliminators.
Wow. I'm sure that was chaotic.
What show was that on, CZ?
What's that?
What show was that on?
CyberSlam '96.
No kidding. Okay. I know it used to be on the network. I don't know if it's on Netflix.
No, one of them vault. You don't think they've got an ECW vault? Anything that you guys have for what age the worst?
Don't hate me. I hate Caprice Coleman.
Oh!
What?
I don't like him at all.
Put that
I think his chemistry with Riccaboni is fantastic. I just don't care for his commentary style. And I'm sorry. I know you guys love him. I couldn't.
No, you don't have to apologize.
Yeah. How dare you? How dare you have an opinion?
Or maybe you should.
Yeah, exactly. How dare you have an opinion in 2026, brother?
Well, hey, I guess we know not to invite for Caprice Coleman Appreciation Night, Joe.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like I said, I think I will not, Stryker. I will not apologize for that. I think the chemistry that he has with Riccaboni is fantastic. I don't like his commentary style. I don't like his voice. It just, to me, it was grating.
It is an acquired taste. I like it to a degree. I don't love it. I can watch it. I couldn't watch him like every week be a commentator. Like I couldn't, if we were watching a full show for like 6 hours, back when WWE, like if he was doing a show for like if he was doing color for All In Texas, which went like 2 days basically, I would have been like, okay, guys, calm down. But for this, I was okay. Any other what age the worst? Hater corner here. CZ out bringing it always. He always brings it.
I can't think of anything that aged.
I know it's so crazy.
This.
I'm sure someone said something about along the lines of the ref getting his face caved in.
What age the worst? Stryker making me apologize.
Yeah, there you go. That aged the worst.
Yeah, the referee's blade job. Ooh, that was
yes.
Bad.
Next category: greatest what if sliding doors moment.
I mean, I think we already touched on it. What if Jay were still with us? What if we had another 2 matches?
Do you think that they both get signed by AEW eventually? Like, just straight up?
I mean, they would now. I mean,
like, is Jay Briscoe AEW World Champion a possibility?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. I think he's a better singles wrestler than his brother, but his brother's, won some titles in AEW.
And I think Mark's fine for the role he's done. I don't know if he would be believable as a top shelf singles competitor, but he's very believable as an emotional, energetic,
Oh man,
Baby face,
people love the
mid-carder.
crazy baby face.
Yes.
Yep.
That's what he is. He's perfect. He's
The
perfect
stuff with-
for it.
The stuff with Fletcher has been good, or is good. Like they did this little thing. They're doing this little thing now with Ciampa. That's pretty good. It's fun. So
You said sliding doors moment. What if this happened years earlier?
I was thinking too, like, that's the thing, like, if FTR never gets released, obviously we never get FTR and the Young Bucks. We never get FTR and these guys. But also, like, there's worlds where this could have happened way sooner. You know?
Right.
But it is, you know, these this is, you know, unfortunately the what if stuff is all sadly tied to
It is.
us losing Jay way too early, which it's very sad. It's not a wrestling death that hit me as hard as it did as maybe some others did, but it was still very like, Jesus, man. Like it was very not expected, obviously. And none of them are, but you know, none of them are expected. But man, that was
It was a shocker. It hurt to the core because he was just coming off this awesome win over FTR in a double dog collar match, and you know, like it just goes to show you, man, how precious it is and how quick it can be. Like, I think his two daughters were in the vehicle with him, and they both survived. They both had to have surgeries, but they both survived. But man, it's a bummer because I firmly believe they would be big in AEW. And who's the AEW tag champs right now?
FTR.
Bingo. I mean, hey, it's 4 years later. Jay's still with us. Yeah, let's run it back. I don't think anybody would complain.
We could have got a Briscoes versus Cope and Cage match, bro.
Absolutely. I mean, just think that's the greatest sliding doors what if moment if Jay was still with us, for sure.
Moving on here, hottest retroactive take other than Caprice Coleman's bad at his job.
I'm never gonna live that down.
Hottest retroactive take.
I have a small one.
Well, go for it. Go for it. Maybe it'll spark something.
It's in honor of the Briscoes and how one of them became kind of a single star. I don't think he should have been pushed as like a world champion, but I would have liked to see a mid-card Dax Harwood title run. I thought there was a moment there in 2022 when he was kind of doing some single stuff.
Well, they both were in the Bret Hart.
Correct.
Yeah.
Or you mean the Owen?
Excuse me. Yeah, the Owen Hart. They're Bret Hart fans. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
But they were in the Owen Hart. Yes. And they said it'd be the only time they would ever wrestle each other.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they wrestled each other.
And go back and watch the match. They didn't throw one punch.
Nope. And Dax had some good stuff, singles wise.
Yeah. Well, Dax had that singles run after Cash got his arm stuck in the turnbuckle. That's when he had to go on a singles run.
That was the most heebie-jeebies moment I've ever had in wrestling until Sunday. Round of applause for Sunday.
Sunday?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I didn't see it, but I saw a picture of it.
Yep. Yummy. Egg salad. Yummy. Just, oh, God.
Shout out to the Wiggles.
Bah humbug. Anyone else got a hot take?
Mike Posey should blade in every match he refs.
Yes. No.
Please.
You know who needs to blade
not.
next? You know who needs to blade next is
I think.
Oh my God!
I'm not trying to sound morbid, but I think Jay Briscoe is one of the greatest bleeders of all time.
That's an interesting.
The dreads, the goatee, the blood, the face.
Yep.
He looks awesome, dude. He looks awesome.
He looks like a real badass, as the kids
for
would
sure.
Say. What's homegirl's name? The one that Jericho hates. The ref.
Aubrey.
Aubrey.
Why would he hate her? She does all of his matches.
Yeah, Aubrey needs to bleed. She needs to bleed.
I'll tell you what. I don't need to see her play. Just leave. That'd be fine with me.
Right. If we're talking about refs bleeding, then we should have Bryce Remsburg ref another Invisible Man versus Invisible Stan, and he gets busted open somehow.
Well, we know Rick Knox can't blade because he's a dead corpse.
Right. Just be leaking formaldehyde.
Right. It'd be like
formaldehyde.
Orange and green. Right.
Drake Younger was a referee in NXT for a while.
Yes, he was.
And he was a pretty gnarly. Maybe that's going to be the next match that I pitch is Drake Younger versus
well, we were talking.
Sammy Callahan.
You don't have to name
PWG.
it here tonight, but our next episode will be episode 7, and it'll be Joe's turn to pick again.
Will be.
And CZ and I were talking in the green room, and we're like, no influence to him. I have no idea where he's coming from. So I'm excited to see what you do pick. You don't have to pick it tonight, but what you do pick in the coming weeks or whenever you do name it, I'm excited to see which way you go.
It's going to be WrestleMania themed. Let's just put it that way. It's going to be that time of season, gentlemen. To be the most wonderful time of the year, some would say. Ugh.
We're just over a month from Mania as we record this.
We are
live in a living color here.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. We are definitely in colored. Shout out to the use of formaldehyde on the show.
You're welcome.
What are we at here? Best unintentional comedy moment. Mine probably was Ian saying pituitary gland. Just popped me. Do you guys got anything?
I don't. Nick?
It's a very serious. This is all. Some are saying this is almost too serious for this show.
I think we're kind of solemn the fact that guys passed away, but they were like serious matches. There's not really a lot. Maybe not the best matches for Wrestlebacks or for the show format, but
no, this is perfect because we got to do
really good matches.
No, the first half hour where we were rolling the importance of this this feud is maybe my favorite half hour we've done of the show, but also. My second favorite half hour is where I'm just riffing off JBL quotes for like 20 minutes and we're all commentating on them. I just thought, it's a good give and take.
I love that JBL does the AAA commentary. I love it.
I saw a picture of him on Dead Mark's podcast the other day, and my goodness, John, what happened? Who ate John Bradshaw Layfield? Shout out to him though. Shout out to John. Where are we at here? Picking nits. This is the next category. We got any Nick picks? Picking nits. Nits to pick. The only one that I have is the middle stage of the middle fall of the second match. I thought
agreed. A little too long. Agreed. Yeah. I would pick that apart. Yes. Yep.
A little too much weight in the ass. If you know what I'm saying. CZ, anything?
CZ, give us a hot take here on Caprice.
One thing that stuck out. He talked about how the FTR is sending the Marine in to scout the competition at the beginning of the first and second match. He used the same line twice.
What was that line again?
I don't remember the exact verbiage, but he was basically said that you send the Marine in first.
Okay.
I guess.
And it was Dax who started both matches.
Should have sent Cash in to get with his gat. That's my hot take. Is my hot take. I'm mad that we've never gotten a Cash Wheeler versus Arn Anderson Glock on a pole match.
If we're gonna pick apart, if I'm gonna pick apart Caprice Coleman, there was a moment where Riccaboni said that that Wheeler is rolling, and Caprice is like, "Yeah, I'm gonna just let that one go." What?
What are you doing?
What are you doing? Get out of here.
Striker in the comments. I can picture JBL with a flashlight yelling, "What's your name? What are you doing? Go back to Mexico!" This is great stuff. The real he won the KAGA, the Kurt Angle Great American Award.
He did. He
He
did.
did.
He did it by chasing undocumented folks back across the border. God bless America. Next category, the Robert Gibson Ricky Morton Award for Best Hot Tag Moment.
I mean,
That's a tough one. I don't
you
have.
got to be in the first match, right?
My winner was Mark's hot tag in the first match. By the way, Nick, did judge me? Did I pick two good? Did I pick two good wrestlers for hot tag to represent hot tags?
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to meeting Ricky and Robert here in a couple months at a convention.
Yeah.
Freaking Rock and Roll Express, man, one of the all-time greats for sure. Great pick there.
Okay, I'm glad that I nailed it. I'm proud. If you tell me I did something good when it comes to elder wrestling, then I know that I hit it.
You did a very good job, Joe.
I'm proud of myself. Next up, this one you nailed this last time we had this category slated towards ROH. We'll see if we get it again. What was the most ROH thing about this?
Oh.
Okay, here we go.
Match 1, 2,000 people at it.
There you go. The guardrails.
I don't know. That's my take.
I would give it to the crowd chants. Very ROH, like tag team wrestling.
Yeah. Very all these guys.
I did hear the dumbest chant during these matches, which I guess that's the most cringeworthy moment for me watching these three matches. The Fight Forever chant. I hate it. It's so stupid.
Yeah, I'm never a big Fight Forever guy. Mine would be in that first match too, when they're so I'm all for the wrestlers having a standoff. Oh, the dog left. The dog doesn't like us talking bad about Ring of Honor. I'm all for the wrestlers having the 1 minute standoff while the crowd's like, "Oh my god!" I thought it was funny when Dax, who was on the apron, just like jumped off and went and started high fiving fans in the crowd. I'm like, okay,
yes,
this is very This is like a PWG show now. Let's see here. Next, Apex Mountain. Which, for those who are new, Apex Mountain is basically pick someone or something during this timing that was at its peak or apex.
Mike Posey's blade job.
Yeah, referee blade jobs. That's a.
What was that? It's apex.
Yeah, Apex Mountain. Referee blade jobs.
Tag team wrestling.
Yes, without a doubt, tag team wrestling.
So you think obviously this trilogy is amazing, but you wouldn't put a different, like, you would say this is the apex of tag team wrestling, not like, I don't even know, maybe like the early 2000s or the 90s with the Attitude Era and some of the stuff that those guys did. You would put it here. You would say this?
I would say this in the modern day.
Okay.
There's definitely better tag teams, that had great matches and whatnot. But a present day, 10 years in either direction, yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Apex Mountain, that's I would just say not tag team wrestling, but tag teams. If you're doing a tag team Mount Rushmore, these are two of the four, in my opinion. At least for the modern era, So like if you did like post 2000 Mount Rushmore for tag teams, I think these are two of the four. Apex Mountain Apex Mountain double dog collar matches, considering there has no other documented one.
Yeah.
There you go. Is this FTR's best moment? Is this FTR's Apex Mountain?
Yes.
This was probably their best year in 2022. They start to become faces. Like they start to become faces.
I would say probably one, and then absolutely after 2 was probably their apex.
They start to become faces. They win they already are the AAA champs or the AAA or whatever.
AAA.
They win the ROH tag titles. Then they win the IWGP belts at Forbidden Door. They become 7-star FTR.
Yep.
Because it was I believe they had won 7 different tag title belts. They have this feud. They eventually win the AEW tag titles. Going into, I believe, the first Wembley show because they beat the Bucks. They get the belts before that in a really weird feud with the Ass Boys. I believe that's who they beat. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I think that's.
Shout out to Danhausen for the best entrance theme never used.
Yeah, there we go. Someone just got cursed.
Hopefully not us, man.
Whomst would have thunk
in March?
Whomst would have thunk in March of 2026 that Danhausen would be relevant?
Yeah, no kidding, right? I mean,
yeah, it's
taking off.
It pays to be CM Punk's friend. More now than it used to, at least. Colt Cabana is probably like, why couldn't I get this rub 15 years ago?
Right.
Poor Colt. Any other Apex Mountain nominees you guys want to put in here?
I got nothing.
Okay. I just thought of this.
I mean, the last great run of the Briscoes.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
Right. I want to throw this in here because I completely forgot earlier. A couple What Age the Bests. The gear. So, like, in the second match, the Briscoes wore these like cutoff jackets that said top 5 dead or alive. You guys know I'm a whore for gear. And then FTR in the third match, they wore white. Top guys wear white.
You love when wrestlers wear white. Love
when wrestlers wear white. And then at least or white boots. If they're not wearing all white, they're wearing white boots. They wore white trunks. And then they like the back of their shorts or their trunks in the final match had like the length of the feud.
Yeah,
which I thought was kind of a neat little touch.
Yep.
So
if we're talking about FTR's gear, the first match when they had the throwback ROH lettering on it.
Yes. FTR and the ROH font. Yes. That was cool. That was really cool.
Yes. That I agree. I definitely agree. Unanswerable questions. You guys got any?
I think we've already talked about.
These guys have ever wrestled more?
Yeah.
It's a great. That is, I mean,
could they?
Yeah,
have
it's
had,
like what
could
would
they have had a second trilogy later? 4 or 5 years removed. Would people still be? Would people still want to see these guys? It's so hard to say because Jay's gone, but it's great for this situation, I guess.
Yeah, it's like how different is this if the Briscoes just got signed by AEW in 2021?
Right.
Or like if they invade, as ROH tag champs, they invaded AEW. I mean, obviously it works better because at the time they were heels. So FTR kind of showing up at ROH to attack the Briscoes made more sense. But there are a plethora of tag teams that got to AEW that I would have liked to see the Briscoes interact with. Absolutely. Striker brings it better than you, baby. That would have been a treat. Obviously, it would have tied in with Jay and Adam Cole. Their feud was they had a feud over the ROH title.
Absolutely.
I don't remember.
MJF would talk down to the Briscoes. Absolutely, it'd be good.
I don't remember if it was. I mean, you guys help me out. I don't remember if it was Adam winning it one of the times he won it, or if it was Jay beating Adam for it. But it was one of the, obviously. But their feud for the ROH title was pretty good.
Yeah.
So, it would have been a nice little thematic tie in there. Yeah, I don't have any other unanswerable questions, but those are a few. And then last, as always, who won the match?
Everybody.
Oh, yeah.
No shit.
Everyone.
No shit.
Everyone.
I was going to say just ROH in general, because I think nowadays when you think of like anything post like COVID, ROH, I feel like there's only two things anyone's going to think of. It's either going to be the Briscoes or FTR Trilogy, which is 90% of it, or like the 10% of it who watched that like a billion-star Bandito Takeshita match like a year ago, which was an all-timer. I'm just saying, like, that's really all that ROH has really done that's been great. They do good stuff, but nothing that I'm going to go out of my way to just go like enthrallingly be a part of, you know?
Correct.
I went out of my way to buy an ROH pay-per-view in 2022 because of this feud.
Yep.
And it saddens me because you look at the robust history in Ring of Honor, you know, the trilogy between Joe and Punk, just the Joe and Kobashi, Steen and Generico, so many great things about Ring of Honor in their uprising, only to come crashing down when TK bought it. I mean, not a full crash. They're still around, but it's nowhere near what it ever was, and it never will be again.
No, and I don't think it ever was going to be. And it's better than if it probably would have just been left to do nothing. Because a lot of those guys, there were guys that were able to come be a part of AEW and vice versa to do some stuff. However, it obviously would be nicer if they would have been able to have, let's have somebody just go, like, let's just have Chris Daniels go, like, prolong ROH, and, like, he's the booker of it. He takes care of everything, you know, instead of having Tony stretch himself thin like he does, you know, we're doing a million things. Split the pot up a little bit. Maybe put a little bit more TLC into ROH, and it has a little more juice. Because of what it is, because of, you know, ROH isn't getting a TV deal in 2025 or 20, even back then when it first got bought by Tony. ROH is never going to, you know, pop and be like an NXT, like, it's not going to be NXT. Okay, let me, excuse me.
It's not going to be AEW's NXT.
Yeah, it is AEW's NXT, but it's not as popular. Does that make sense?
Right,
yeah.
right.
Yeah, and it never would be, but there are a few things that they could have done here and there to maybe procure it a little bit, instead of it just being, you know, behind a paywall. It does weekly shows, but it's not watched by many and doesn't have much juice. There's avenues that could have been taken for it to have a little bit more juice than it does. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, Striker has another good comment here saying ROH is now OVW, which is, I mean, it's not wrong. Outside of, like, their top champions, yeah, he's correct, I think.
Right.
Right.
You know, which isn't bad. At least I don't think. It's okay for AEW to have, like, to go sign some projects, and let's go have these guys get better here. Let's go have these guys and girls get better here. You know, we don't have a spot for them on TV, but let's go have them do this. But, you know, it's unfortunately there's not much continuity.
Right.
Woe is life. Well, we did good, gentlemen. Brisk 83 minutes. We're out here.
We did it.
If you're new to our channel, I know this is the second broadcast we have back on the artist formerly known as Twitter in some time. So if you're watching on X, shout out to you guys. Thanks for joining us. Follow us, Card Subject to Change. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. This is our monthly show, Wrestlebacks, which is, of course, part of the Card Subject to Change family, proudly sponsored by Lopez Pizza. Go down to Lopez, get a large slice of pizza anytime here in downtown Davenport. That's enough plugging there for that. Coming up on the horizon, Joe, talk about, you know, we want to give you a little time. You've got a new adventure that you're plotting through right now.
I do. We're obviously doing sports stuff, the Educate Ignorance podcast, Golden Ticket Show stuff. We're doing a March Madness bracket. Follow me on Facebook. Joe the Show Winkle, or Twitter, Joe the Show QCSN, if you want to be a part of a cash prizes March Madness bracket. We're doing cool stuff there. But also a new podcast that I started recently called Real Ignorance. It's real, REEL, play on words, get it, haha, funny, funny.
I get it.
It's a movie podcast with one of my really good friends, Blake. And we've done 2 episodes. We did a review of the movie How to Make a Killing. And we then did our first, we did our version of, it's kind of the same premise as this show. We talk about certain stuff, then we do categories. And we did our first version of an older movie, which was Fight Club. And it was such a great time because Blake had never seen it before. And to get his reaction to Fight Club was immense. Ooh. And then yesterday, me and him he got early access because he's a member for Cinemark or whatever. He got early access to go see Project Hail Mary, so I went with him yesterday, and it was a great time. So that'll probably be the next show we do in a week or so, and then I think we're gonna have Wolf of Wall Street. I think because we're adding another member to it, a friend of ours, Ethan. Spoiler, he's gonna join us, and one of the movies he pitched was Wolf of Wall Street, so I think I'm gonna try to talk us into doing Wolf of Wall Street. So awesome. Project Hail Mary, Wolf of Wall Street, those are on deck. Those are the next couple of movies we're going to be doing. So I know we're not supposed to talk about Fight Club, but, we talked about it for like an hour and a half. I'm sorry.
You broke the first rule already, Joe.
No kidding.
I know. Listen, I'm a bad boy.
Hey, coming up for us over on the Card Subject to Change podcast, Sunday at 6:30, we welcome in Mr. Justin Fowler, All Steel Justin Fowler. I'm excited to talk with him and his wrestling career. And next week, Zach Takis and I are back for our monthly accountability podcast, Wrestling with Fitness. I almost mispronounced the name of that. Can't believe I did that. With our good friend Austin Bayless and his big old crazy hat. So stay tuned for those. That's coming up Sunday with Card Subject to Change, and next Wednesday, a week from tomorrow, as we record this for Wrestling with Fitness. Gentlemen, any final thoughts for today?
My phone just went nuts.
I know. What in the world? Are you
I had it on vibrate. It just went nuts. Looked down at it. I'm like, what is going on?
Did Kane just come crashing in? Did the Pirates?
Maybe Danhausen cursed us. Who knows?
Danhausen did just curse you. Yeah.
Oh, geez.
No, I'm
you got the next match. Do you know what you're picking yet? Or are you going to wait for socials to release that?
It's down to two or three matches. It's going to be WrestleMania themed. You guys know which ones I'm contriving in my brain. Spoiler alert, it probably involves Shawn Michaels.
Okay.
He just has 3 matches that I kind of want us to do. Which one? We're going to find out.
Yes, we are.
Stay tuned to socials for that announcement.
Yeah. I saw an interesting stat the other day that you mentioned, Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels and The Miz have the same record at WrestleMania. They're both 6-11.
Oh my God!
Wow.
So is The Miz Mr. WrestleMania Jr.?
I think he's Mr. WrestleMania.
Yep. The people are asking. On that note, CZ, take us home.
This has been another fantastic episode of Wrestlebacks. Rewatchable matches, must-see rewatchable matches. We'll see you on Card Subject to Change. Catch Joe on both Educated Ignorance and Real Ignorance. Until next time, everybody have a great rest of your day.